Thank you. அனைவருக்கும் வணக்கம். எல்லோருக்கும் இனிய தை பொங்கல் நல்வாழ்த்துக்கள். நான் உங்கள் உமா குமரன், பிரித்தானியாவின் முதலான தமிழ் MP. And colleagues-க்கு என்ன மாதிரி தமிழ் கதைக்க மாட்டோம். So I'm going to switch to English for my colleagues. I want to welcome everyone here today and wish you a very happy Thai Pongal. It is so wonderful to see you all here today, adorned in our beautiful traditional saris and attire. I want to firstly thank Tamils for Labour and the Alliance of Tamil Community Organisations for their efforts in organising today's event in celebrating Tamil Heritage Month. I also want to give my thanks to the beautiful performance we saw today from the Saima Academy of Music. I'm so pleased that we have this opportunity to come together as a community to celebrate Tamil culture and traditions here in the heart of Westminster. The contributions made by the Tamil community are immense, and I'm pleased that so many of you who contribute to this are here in the room tonight. They span healthcare, education, technology, business, arts, culture, and politics. It's been the honour of my life to be elected as the MP for Stratford and Bow, and with the added honour of being the first British Member of Parliament of Tamil heritage. Our community has shown so much resilience and determination, but I'm proud to say that we have overcome these immense suffering and pain, and that we are thriving here in the UK and globally. We have rebuilt our lives, whether it is here in Britain or elsewhere in the world. Many of you in the room have rebuilt your lives, and you've been determined to succeed and pass on every chance of success to your children. My parents were some of the first ever Tamils to flee Sri Lanka and were given refuge by the United Kingdom in a similar scheme to the one we've seen enacted for Ukraine. Though I was born here, I understand the hurt and pain, and I watched my parents fight to rebuild their lives here in the UK. I'm so proud of all they have achieved, but watching their struggle has had a huge impact on me and my politics. I know and I feel the absence of justice for Tamils. It is my duty to use my voice to shine a light on this injustice. As a member of the Foreign Affairs Select Committee, I've been holding this government to account on its foreign policy. And so we've recently had the opportunity to question the Foreign Secretary, David Lammy. This fell on the same day as Maviranal, and I used this opportunity to ask the Foreign Secretary about the referral of perpetrators of atrocities to the International Criminal Court. The lack of accountability for the mass atrocities committed in Sri Lanka and ongoing human rights violations, and the rejection of the UN-led accountability and justice mechanisms continue to deprive Tamils of justice. I will continue to lobby wherever possible and work with ministers, including the Foreign Secretary, David Lammy, and Minister for the Region, Catherine West. I'll continue to push for Magnitsky-style sanctions and ICC referrals for the perpetrators of these atrocities. And I will continue to advocate for our community. There is so much more to do to secure accountability and justice so that we can move forward as a community. And I want to use this opportunity to make a commitment. I am here. I am in Parliament, not just for Stratford and Bow, but I'm in Parliament for you. And I want to use my voice, amplifying the work that's already being done, including by so many of you here in the room tonight. But I want to turn to why we are all here today. It's a celebration. And Pongal is a time to give thanks and gratitude, of unity and generosity. January also marks Tamil Heritage Month here in London. It's an opportunity to celebrate ancient culture and traditions and pass them on to the next generations. I'm so proud of our community, and especially our young people. When I was elected, the outpouring of love and support I received from the diaspora was phenomenal. But it was the messages from the young British Tamils which really touched my heart. To see themselves represented in national politics was a huge step forward for us as a community. So I want to make sure that I'm using my voice and I'm helping to inspire and uplift the next generation of Tamils and the next generation of Tamil leaders and change makers. I want to thank all of you who have contributed to the organising of this event and for coming this evening to join in the celebrations. Pongal really is a time for hope and a moment to reflect on our dreams and ambitions for the year ahead. And so I'm really proud of the work that this government is already doing to transform the lives and opportunities of people across the United Kingdom. And I have hope for 2025, and I have so much hope that things can and will get better. Just this morning, the Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, visited my constituency in Stratford-on-Bow to announce a landmark AI plan. This government is driving forward innovation at the heart of our strategy to deliver change. And so, with that said, it gives me great pleasure to introduce one of my dear friends, someone who is working day in, day out to fix our NHS and to rebuild it so that it is fit for now and for the future. An NHS that so many of you here work in, and to deliver a change that this country voted for. I'm honoured and delighted to welcome him here this evening to celebrate Thai Pongal with all of us. Please join me in showing your appreciation for the Right Honourable Wes Streeting, the Secretary of State for Health and Social Care and the MP for Ilford North.
Thank you so much for such a warm and generous introduction. I'm so proud to see this remarkable and energetic woman representing East London in Parliament as the Member of Parliament for Stratford-on-Bow, but also, as she alluded to, speaking up for a whole generation of young Tamil people growing up in this country, showing that when it comes to the opportunities to serve, to make a great contribution to our country, there are no limits to your potential and your contribution. And for the last 9.5 years that I've had the privilege of representing Ilford North as the Member of Parliament, I've tried to use my voice and my platform to speak up for both celebrating and recognising the enormous contribution that the Tamil people make right across our country, in politics, in art, in business and commerce, in all walks of life, and in particular, thinking about my other hat, the enormous contribution that the Tamil community has made to our National Health Service and social care services. It's enormous, and we should celebrate it. And we should also celebrate the way in which the Tamil community has enriched our communities with your cultural contribution as well as economic contribution to our country. And we should also recognise and celebrate the contribution this country has made over generations of being a safe harbour for refugees fleeing war and conflict, giving people the chance not just to put down new roots and make a new life, but also to use the platform afforded by our country's democracy to speak out against the injustices we see in other parts of the world in the hope that the places they once fled might once again be places that people can safely return to. And that's why in nearly a decade now of representing Ilford North in Parliament, I've tried to use my voice to speak up for truth, for justice and reconciliation for all of the people of Sri Lanka. And it is thanks to the groundbreaking journalism we've seen, particularly Sri Lanka's Killing Fields on Channel 4, but also the advocacy that Tamil people have brought to constituency advice surgeries of members of parliament and councillors, the contribution that Tamil politicians like Councillor Jayaranjan in the London Borough of Redbridge have made to raising awareness and sharing painful experiences, people carrying not just the physical scars, but the mental scars of that devastating civil war. Your advocacy, your lobbying, your representation has kept the issue of human rights in Sri Lanka on the political agenda here in our parliament, but also on the floor of the UN Human Rights Council, where many of us, on a cross-party basis, have spoken up for human rights in Sri Lanka, for the accountability of people who are responsible for the worst atrocities, and also for an end to some of the more recent human rights abuses we have continued to see in Sri Lanka. All of that work, all of that advocacy, your willingness to speak up has made a real difference and kept these issues on the agenda. And so it is with immense pride that I speak to you today as a Member of Parliament for Ilford North, pride in the Tamil community we have in the London Borough of Redbridge and the contribution you make, but also with determination to make sure that we deliver on the truth, the justice and accountability that you deserve, so that the island of Sri Lanka can be a safe place for all of its diverse communities, and so that in the 21st century it's democracy and not tyranny that triumphs across the world. And I'm also here to say on behalf of the UK government a very happy Pongal. I'm here this evening not just as a constituency MP, but on behalf of the Prime Minister to wish all of you the greatest joy and happiness as you celebrate Pongal. This is a time for celebration, to celebrate the enormous contribution of Tamil communities here and actually right throughout the world, and also for me to restate on behalf of your government our determination to make sure that you enjoy every bit of security and opportunity that you deserve here at home in the UK, but also our determination on the international stage to stand up for human rights, to use our platform and our influence on the global stage to make sure that Britain is a beacon for democracy and human rights the world over. So thank you so much for having us along this evening. Thank you so much to the people we've already seen with that beautiful performance on the stage, and for all of you who will continue to keep the celebrations going well into the night. Happy Pongal, and thank you so much for having us along.
Thank you so much, Omar and Wes. Next on stage, I'd like to bring Nigel Huddeston, who is a Conservative MP for Droitwich and Evesham. He's also the co-chair of the Conservative Party.
So good evening, everybody, and congratulations to the organisers for organising yet another incredible event, and thank you so much for inviting me along this evening as well. So as we come together to celebrate Pongal, I want to extend my heartfelt wishes to the Tamil community right across the United Kingdom. Pongal is a time for gratitude, for renewal, for unity, a moment to celebrate the harvest and give thanks to the blessings, the many blessings in our lives. And the Conservative Party shares many values that are deeply cherished by the Tamil community: hard work, family, enterprise, and the importance of giving back to society. And as we've heard from the previous speakers, actually, this is key to British values and, of course, the incredible contribution that British Tamils make, whether that's in the public or the private sector, from politics to the health service. The contribution is immense in our economic and, indeed, in our culture. January is also, of course, Tamil Heritage Month, a wonderful opportunity to celebrate the vibrant Tamil culture, language, and traditions that are now an integral part of British life. And it's a time to reflect on how communities like yours have strengthened the very fabric of our wider society. Now, as we've heard earlier as well, of course, whilst we celebrate, we must also acknowledge the ongoing need for justice and reconciliation. The decades-long conflict in Sri Lanka has left a legacy of suffering that cannot be ignored, and none of us are ignoring it. The Conservative Party is absolutely committed to advocating for justice for victims and for ensuring that the rights and aspirations of Tamils are met. And a lasting and just resolution must uphold accountability, dignity, and equality. Now, as chairman of the Conservative Party, I am very proud of the enduring partnership with the Tamil community and will continue to champion the shared values that unite us. May this Pongal bring you and your families joy, peace, and prosperity. And I wish you all a very happy and blessed Pongal. Thank you.
Thank you, Nigel. Next on stage is an orchestra performance by J. Sai Music Academy, led by Sri Jaladharan Sidambaranathan, percussion by students of Arun Maheshwaran. Whilst we wait for our performance, I'd like to bring on stage Sir Ian Duncan-Smith, former leader of the Conservative Party and MP for Chingford and Woodford Green. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. I don't want to get between you and a wonderful performance, so I'm going to keep my remarks brief. I want to say what a privilege it is to be here this evening, representing myself. I want to align myself with quite a lot of what Wes Streeting said, and I don't know if I can see Wes here at all. We are, in fact, neighbours next door to each other in political terms, not, but in parliamentary terms, we are indeed. And I want to also give my congratulations to Uma Kumaran for being the first Tamil MP in the country. Maybe in a different political party, but at the end of the day, we can all share and rejoice when a community is properly represented, so my congratulations to that. I want to wish everybody a happy Pongal. I want to say that the Tamil community is more than welcome. It is desired here in the United Kingdom because of your values of hard work and family and your sense of what is right and wrong. And I think in that respect, you could do with a lot of reminding sometimes of many of us who may well sometimes have forgotten those very values that you may remind us of. And I want to also say that this season brings you a great joy, and I want to celebrate that with you. But I also want to say one other thing, which I think is quite important. I am the chairman of the all-party parliamentary group on Magnitsky sanctions, and I can promise you that we are going to go after those who have terrorized the community, who have carried out foul abuses and murders. We will push the government every single day to impose sanctions on those people so their lives will be lived miserably as a result of what they did. So happy Pongal to you all, and I promise you, you have great friends in Westminster. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next on stage is Dame Siobhan McDonough, Chair of the All-Party Parliamentary Group for Tamils and Labour MP for Mitcham and Morden.
Vanakkam, and a very happy Pongal to everyone here. As chair of the All-Party Parliamentary Group for Tamils, it's my honour to join you this special evening as we celebrate Pongal and Tamil Heritage Month. Pongal is a time for celebration, a time for unity, and a time for compassion. Around the world, the Tamil community comes together as one, putting aside all differences to celebrate the festival of the Tamils. Together we celebrate and give thanks for a plentiful harvest. And it's also a time to give thanks for our families, our friends, and our neighbours. But whilst tonight is a moment of celebration and community, it is also a time for us to reflect on the ongoing struggle for peace and justice in Sri Lanka. Those responsible for the atrocities are back in power, and I continue to receive regular updates on human rights infringements faced by the Tamil community in Sri Lanka. For 15 years since the end of the Sri Lankan Civil War, I have stood alongside the Tamil community on your road to truth, justice and accountability. I will continue to push for Magnitsky-style sanctions on those war criminals who still walk free, as our allies in the United States and Canada have already done. I will also push the government to ensure that the current trade tariff concessions granted to Sri Lanka are reconsidered based on Sri Lanka's compliance with the Geneva Resolution. Have a wonderful evening.